Good morning, good afternoon and good evening. Welcome back to some Club 100 racing in the Heavyweight Sprint Championship, this time at the wonderful Glan-y-Gors. Take it away, Howard.
Away we go then. Paul Jennings will lead them away off the line into turn number one. It's a decent start from him. Steve Lindley, second on the grid, is out onto driver's left there, and Heinrich Watson-Miller is going to try and push through on the inside as they come up through the hill. Much cooler conditions, as Chris was noting, but they all seem to be good gripping the circuit. No one being run out onto the grass off to driver's left as they come through and down the hill towards Carousel for the first time. Steve Lindley versus, I think, a fast starting Daniel Underhill, that might be.
Yeah, it was indeed a fast starting Daniel Underhill, making a nice little cameo appearance into the Club 100 Championship. It's always good to see him in the kart. But yeah, we're here at Glan-y-Gors for what is round 3 of the championship, but is our second time out this year, having had Whilton Mill move to the end of the year due to their reformatting of the final sector there, which will be good fun to go and drive later on, I'm sure. But here we've got Steve Lindley getting all kinds of sideways there, going side by side with Dan there, and not particularly happy by the looks of it. I can't blame him. I wouldn't be happy myself if I'd nearly gone spearing off 90 degrees into the pit wall. But he kept himself facing forwards, which is a good bit of recovery.
In fourth place, which is what has brought him up closer onto the back of these top 3. And they're a side by side for second place between Watson, Miller and Underhill through Spoon Corner. Look out for Tim Penny in the 4. Look out, we've barely mentioned him this race so far, but look out for Anwar Barul-Smith coming through as well, lest we forget him. And he's through on Tim Penny there as well.
I think he's biding his time here, isn't he, Anwar?
He is, yeah.
He's not really been too keen to get involved in this last little scrap here.
It's fairly frenetic, isn't it, stuff in this race? And I think with experience comes the feelings. They somehow go 3 wide through the penultimate corner. How's this one going to end? Between this is Scott Parker in the 20, and Tim Penny is dropping down the order quite a bit here, and he's back at the back of the pack here now with Steve Lindley. He's probably not feeling the most charitable driver off the back of what's happened.
Not too happy, is he? Yeah, interesting to watch there, Anwar. There he goes into second place. It's good racecraft here from an experienced driver, I think.
Tried to make the move going into the double left-hander of Carousel and just got stuck on the outside, ended up having wheels on the grass being forced out wide. And it's classic karting. If you're in pack racing and you lose one position, you can guarantee you're going to be losing a whole heap more as well, which is exactly what happened to me. And we end up going from a move for second to back in 7th or maybe even 8th at this point. But we have some time to try and make our way forwards. We've made a position going through the hairpin at the top of the hill, and as you can see here, we're stuck a little bit behind Heinrich Watson-Miller, but we did have the benefit of some penalties in front, so we end up finishing P5 ahead of heat number 2, where we'd start second row on the grid, but P4. And having watched, it was going to be a little bit of a nervy place to start, because the anti-pole side of the grid had been getting not particularly great starts, forced wide through the first corner, and that was allowing the pole side of the grid to get really good starts versus the anti-pole. But this time there was a gap left on the inside, so we managed to shoot that nice and quickly, get ourselves up into second place, and we've got Adam Wright behind us as we look over the shoulder, and we're going to try and see if we can make a move forward, get past the driver, who I think is Richard Newton. Sorry if it's not Richard Newton, and perhaps it is, in which case great success. But we'll skip forward here. Quite defensive driving, which I suppose isn't to be unexpected, because the track here difficult to pass with, and Super Heavyweight leading the race would be an excellent result for him.
Impressions. Tim Penny, though, right now applying major pressure here to Richard Newton. He wants to get by, but he doesn't want Adam Wright to come through as well. Adam Wright, his experience showing there, one of the most consistent drivers in this heavyweights category. That was beautifully read from Adam Wright to bag a cheeky second place there.
I'm not sure Tim Penny knew he was there when he went for that move. Yeah, it was a nice little move there for Adam Wright. Perfect.
It was a nice move from Adam Wright indeed. He took advantage of me sweeping across back towards the right-hand side to try and open up the corner and possibly get a cutback, and said, thank you very much, I'll take that space and have second place off you. But coming into the right-hand before the compressions, we'll see what we can do as he goes deep.
And through's gone Tim Penny on both of them. That was, well, he's had a good run through the last few corners, and they're going too wide behind them as well. Steve Bosley there leading Dan Underhill and Alex Pritchard coming through. But Tim Penny leads, Richard Newton in second, Adam Wright in third. There was an incredible series of corners there.
So yeah, it looked as though Adam had a look going up into the double right-hander and then came back across, had a little bit of tap with myself. I think possibly as he was looking to slow down, that maybe forced him deep into the corner, but it opened up the inside as we've now got past, and you can see there Adam got squeezed onto the curb and he's not best pleased, gives the old I'm going for first signal to Richard, but we're able to pull away, and in the time that was left Adam wasn't able to break down any gap that we had, but he did get himself up into second. So we'll move on to heat number 3, starting on the pole side of the grid this time. In 7th place, we've got Joe Holmes a couple spots ahead of us, and we're going to try and see if we can get through onto him before he makes a classic Joe Holmes break for it. And we've got some other fast drivers in here as well. We've got Glenn Orford, going over the grass there, doing some grass cutting, and not where he wants to be to start off a race. That's going to hurt his momentum going up the hill for sure. But yeah, other fast drivers that we've got in this race, so it's going to be a fighty one. This heat, not quite a heat of death, but certainly a heat of extreme discomfort as we make our way through the double left-hander of Carousel and have a little bit of look over our shoulder, and we can see there we got James Johnson coming up the inside. Now the hand of racing driver frustration comes up. I felt like I'd been pushed on a little bit through that corner as I was trying to slow the cart down, trying to get it turned right, and found myself heading onward with indecent haste. But at the time, quite frustrating. In hindsight, probably just a product of close racing, and it could have been a similar situation to Adam and who we believe to be Richard Newton in heat number 2. So it's all swings and roundabouts really in racing. We found ourselves moving backwards there, but we've got the opportunity to move forwards. But this time, we've got Adam Nather coming up our inside, forcing us to go backwards, and we've got Adam Wright joining in for company. The Adams family come past us here, and we end up losing 2 positions going down the hill towards Carousel, and we're going to see if we can tuck on to the back of both of them. We know they're very speedy boys, so if we can keep hold of them, that'll be good for us. But coming up the hill here, you can just see we've got a little bit of a speed deficit. Through the corners didn't feel too bad, but up the hill, not ideal. And we're going to have to really keep pushing to stay nice and close to Adam Wright here as we go up the inside.
Tim Penny wants the position back off of Adam Wright. Goes to the inside of Carousel, and is it going to be a double pass? It is. Yeah. He's through on the number 18 of Jamie Buchan. So really nice corner there. Really nice run through the Carousel from Tim Penny.
So yeah, nice little double pass. Going through the Carousel, managed to get up the inside of Adam through the first part, and then Jamie Buchan, who was in the orange helmet, ended up running a little bit wide and allowed us to sneak through. But again, not so much a sneak through as they had the door opened wide for us as Kai Crawford and Adam Nather end up getting a little bit too close for comfort. Both of them running wide through turn 1 and hurting the momentum, allowing us to sneak up the inside. And there's 4 positions in the best part of half the lap, and that puts up into P4, and we were able to catch up with the driver in front by the end of the race, but it wouldn't have mattered even if we hadn't passed him or had passed him, as he had a penalty for breaking formation at the start. But that would put us 3rd row, 6th place on the A final grid. We've got the always frequently at the front Joe Holmes on pole with brother Kurt on anti-pole. Scott Parker had a good day putting up into 4th, and Anwar Bowl-Smith behind Joe on the pole side. And they will go 3 wide coming up the hill. Adam Wright looking to try and get his load to make it 4, and Kurt's going to lose out here, as you can see him there. No grip at all to play with, and ends up dropping backwards. We drop backwards as well as we're forced on the outside through Spoon Corner. Got Mikey Nichols off on the grass on the right hand side, not good for him in terms of his momentum to start this race, dropping back towards the back of the field. And James Johnson here trying to get up our inside going through Carousel, but we're able to keep enough momentum to stay alongside him on the right hand side going into the double right hander into the compressions, and that would allow us to take a bit of a defensive line going through, and we've broken down a little bit of a gap that had developed due to that fighting with Adam Wright in front. So top left corner. You can see how it started, but we'll see what it's like after lap 1, and it's all changed. We can see Adam Nather's got himself up into 3rd place, Dan Underhill in 4th, and then Mo Hassan in 5th place, Adam Wright and myself behind. And here we got Class 2 runners in 3rd, 4th and 5th positions. Now, in terms of what that means, it's not though that they're not quick drivers. They're very quick indeed, but the Class 1, Class 2 system is more so that you'd be expecting Class 1 drivers to have perhaps a little bit more consistency in terms of results. But obviously we've already spoken about how Adam Nather's managed to lie, cheat and steal his way into keeping a C2 plate for this year, as his results towards the end of last year were absolutely fantastic. So we'll see if we can chase down Dan and Mo, but Adam's going to do the work for us in terms of Mo Hassan. We're able to follow him through as he makes his way past going into the carousel, and one of the easier overtaking moves that we'll have to do today. Just the door was opened and all we had to do was step through it, which was very polite of Adam to do that for us. But that's us up into 6th place as we'll cross the line, and we'll go chasing after Dan Underhill now. There's a little bit of a gap that's developed between us and Adam Nather in 3rd place. Joe and Anwar have kind of checked out a little bit after 4 laps at the front, so this is a game of chasing down 3rd place. And at this point in the race you might be expecting to start having a little bit of feeling out, seeing what the pace of the guys in front is like. We know they're quick, they wouldn't be here at the front of the A final grid if they weren't quick, but this is where you're trying to work out, do I have the pace to sit behind and just sort of allow ourselves to work as a team, or is that going to hinder me? Do I need to try and force the issue a little bit? Now, coming up towards Spoon Corner, Adam is clearly thinking that he needs to force the issue a little bit and looks for a gap that ends up disappearing on him, takes out a cone, and then that allows us a little bit of a run going down towards Carousel. But Adam was looking for it himself, and we end up getting a little bit tangled. You heard the squeak there of tyre on front nose cone, but his attack allowed him to sort of effectively defend at the same time as well, and we'll have to drop back in. Lost a little bit of time, but we'll hopefully make that up reasonably quickly. Pace felt good in this one.
Sitting there is Tim Penny, you know, and he's just watching this one develop here, just trying to get involved. There he goes, nice and wide on the outside, just trying to take advantage of any kind of coming together or fight for that position. Oh, but he just kind of wheel onto the grass there, shouldn't lose him too much time though. And
it's all bunching up behind them as well. What was a 3-cart battle over 4th place is now an 8-cart, possibly 9-cart battle.
And that was really frustrating. The mistake there, coming out the carousel corner, back up the hill and dipping the right-hand tyres off onto the grass, hurt the momentum, meant that I wasn't able to stick onto the back of Adam's bumper there, and then he was able to throw a nice little move going into the compression up the inside of Dan, who I think probably didn't realise that Adam was quite in position to do that, or at least wasn't expecting it, and we might have been able to follow through and have another situation where Adam made the move and I could have followed through to secure it off myself. But in this case, we're going to have to do all the work ourselves now to try and get past Dan, who I think is ailing a little bit in terms of overall pace in the kart he's pulled for this one. Maybe just a little bit down compared to myself and Adam. I was feeling really confident at this bottom part of the racetrack, and feeling like I was getting really good drive off these slower corners, which, as we come down the hill here, give up a little bit going through the last corner, but that allows us to get onto the power earlier. And you can see here the engine picking up, get really good drive and momentum coming through the first corner, and we're up the inside of Dan before he's able to really do anything about it and get himself over to the right hand side. You can see him there kind of blipping off the throttle just so he could tuck in behind us as we get past him. It was probably timely that I did that then, because you could see over the shoulder there the rest of the group that I was in at that time was getting rather big and rather long, and Adam, you can see, has managed to pull away a bit of a gap, but we've got past Dan, and now it's a case of getting my head down and seeing what I can do about this gap to Adam in front, and then Adam Nather in 3rd place at the moment, to see if we can go after a podium spot. And as I said, the pace was feeling good. We've managed to break down a bit of that gap already, noticeably going through that last sector, and the aim would be to try and keep that going, get closer and closer lap by lap.
That was Adam Nather, who we've barely seen, because he's having a quiet race as well. in third place.
It's
Although
the
I say
wrong
that,
kind of quiet here because they're catching him up
Yes.
ever so slowly here.
absolutely, Adam Wright is on a charge here and is eating into that lead in third place, and Tim Penny's going with him.
So yeah, we jump forward to lap 12 here, and as you can see, we've broken down the gap to Adam, who in turn has also broken down the gap to Adam Nather in front, and this is going to be a very spicy last 3 laps of this race, and we're going to watch the 3 laps in entirety because it was really good fun having a battle with these guys, and you can see we're right onto the back of Adam Nather now, having broke down that gap, and this is a true fight for third place, and Adam now knows we're there, and it's going to be mighty hard to try and get past now. A very I don't want to say easy circuit to defend on, but because the pressure does mount, but it can be done for a length of time if you keep focusing on your apexes and exits, and going into the spoon corner here, you can see just keeping it slightly tighter, making sure that the driver behind you can't get a run. But here Adam gets a lovely little run coming out of spoon. He's able to throw it up the inside, and again he's done the hard work, and I'm able to take advantage of it as well and slip it up the inside of Adam Nather going through Carousel, and that's 4th place. And now it's just a case, we've got 2 laps, or just over 2 laps to see if we can get past Adam whilst also keeping Adam Nather at bay behind as well. So we're right on his bumper going through the last turn. That's important, as we know we're going to get a good drive up the hill. We've got a little bit of a gap behind, but that's going to get eaten into quickly because we know that Adam Wright's going to be defending. See there, looking over his shoulder, keeping it tight to the right-hand side on that white line. Opens up a bit, maybe could have thrown it up to the end. We've got Adam Nather going around the outside, cheeky. We're not going to let that happen, and we turn around and be like, not going to happen today, sunshine. So I enjoyed that. I tell you what, if you enjoyed the little bit of sass there, why don't you leave a comment, like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all those things, share it, and have a little thing. Do you like the playful little finger wag? But going there through the compression, you see Adam was keeping it really, really tight to the left-hand side, going to that first left, which is the real kind of lunge point. If you opened it up a bit too much there, it would be dangerous for allowing someone to throw it at the inside like he did to Dan earlier in the race. But this time we go left, tried to swing it across, and I was kind of hoping that Adam would look over his right shoulder as we swung it to the left, so that he might think that we're not there and take a bit more of a wider line, which might have been able to allow me to kind of throw it at the inside, but it didn't quite work out, unfortunately. So coming down the hill towards Carousel, he keeps it to the left, and I think, you know what, sod it, let's go for a worldy move round the outside. Maybe there'll be some grip there, but unfortunately not quite this time, and it allows Adam Nather to get up our inside, and it hurts our momentum, and we've got good position there in order to keep that 4th place, but that was about it for us in terms of trying to go for 3rd. But in doing so, it slowed us down. It's allowed Kurt Holmes, great recovery from Kurt, to get himself back up into what will be 5th place. He just manages to squeeze it past Adam Nather on the last few corners of the last lap of this GYG A final, and so you're coming up on Adam there and just going, man, that was close. It was a great race, really good fun, and a nice fist bump there with him. And that's one of the things I love. Okay, there, thumbs up to Adam Nather. That's one of the things I love about Club 100 is the guys that you're racing with, especially the guys that I'm fortunate enough to race with at the pointy end, are a really good bunch of guys, and it's great fun racing them. But that puts us up into 6th place in terms of championship after 2 races, but after what is round 3. And it was an excellent day out at GYG, and great circuit to drive. Hard to race on, but great fun to drive. So until next time, and at Ella Park, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, have a good one.